Hello. Welcome back to whatever this is, this YouTube channel here that I accidentally abandoned for several months. Basically, just to cut to the chase, I'm here to talk about the books that I want to read in May. Because I was sitting here, I'm home alone, and I was sitting here just talking to myself about these books anyway. I was rearranging my bookshelf and was just like talking to myself about the books I want to read in May, and figured I already have them separated right here on my desk in a stack, and why not talk to you guys about them. It'll be like a fun little hangout where I force you to listen to me talk about books. Also, this list is in no particular order. I just have them stacked in order of their size from smallest to largest, so we're just gonna start with the one on the top, as you do. The first one that I have here is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I have it in this adorable little hardback edition. This is the only hardback book I own. I do not like hardback books, but I feel like this is kind of an exception because it's like a special book. It's not very long. It's not even 100 pages long. But from what I understand, it's kind of like poetic writing about spirituality, and I'm very interested in that. So that is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Up next, this is the portable Oscar Wilde. It has a lot of Oscar Wilde in this 704-page volume, but I want to read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde in May. The Picture of Dorian Gray is about, from what I understand, because I haven't read it, so I'm not really well versed in what it's about, but it's about a guy named Dorian Gray, and I'm pretty sure he's Dorian Gay, but I don't know, and I have heard and seen that Oscar Wilde's writing in The Picture of Dorian Gray is beautiful, and it just seems like something I would like. I am really into classics recently, so I have not read any Wilde yet. This will be my first, so fingers crossed. Up next is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. This I've known about since high school, early high school, or maybe even before high school, but I have not touched it. I never did I somehow didn't do any assignments over it. I know I read parts of it, but I still don't know really what this book is about, and it seems like an important read. So I definitely would like to pick it up because a lot of people that I know have read this, or at least have it on their TBR, have it in their radar, and I have never. So I picked this up from the local used bookstore as well. And the portable Oscar Wilde is also from that same bookstore. I go to this bookstore several times a week, so most of these books in this stack are from that bookstore. There are a couple of exceptions in here that I did not get from that bookstore, but there are only 3. And one of those exceptions that I got new, I actually bought today, and that is City of Saints and Madmen by Jeff Vandermeer. Jeff Vandermeer is an author who's been on my radar for a long time, but I just, for some reason, I would pick up a book of his at the bookstore and then just put it back in favor of something else. This one, from my understanding, it's about a city called Ambergris. This book is 500 pages long or something, but it follows a few different characters, and they're all strange and have strange things to say, and this is pretty much just documenting the inhabitants of the city, while there's also a strange fungus growing that no one knows anything about, hence the mushroom on the cover. And for those of you wondering, yes, this was kind of a cover buy, but with cover buys I always try to make sure I am at least also interested in the concept of the book, and in this one I definitely am. I'm trying to get kind of back into speculative fiction, so this sounds like kind of a surrealist jump back into that genre because I haven't been reading it very much. So yeah, that is City of Saints and Madmen. Up next, we have The Undocumented Americans by Carla Cornejo Villavicencio, or Villavicencio maybe. This is a nonfiction kind of memoir, actually, about the author's experience being on DACA or DACA. It says in the back here, in 2016, she decided to start writing about the lives of her fellow undocumented Americans, and this is kind of the product of that. And not only is the cover beautiful, but all of the reviews I've seen for it have been positive, and it's a really important subject matter that I feel like it's kind of like essential reading. I just feel like educating myself about the experiences of people coming in from not only Mexico, but just any other country is important as a legal citizen who hasn't experienced any of that. It's good to gain perspective, especially on things that are important that you don't know much about. All of that being said, I'm excited to dive into this one in May. And then I'm excited about this. I have The Metamorphosis, The Penal Colony probably, and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. I'm really excited about this because I have kind of developed a weird obsession with Kafka recently, of his letters and his diaries. I think he was a brilliant writer just in terms of expressing his thoughts, and I haven't read any of his fiction, so I definitely am excited to dive into this one. The Metamorphosis is, if you don't know, it's about a man who wakes up one morning and he is a cockroach, and he has to deal with that. And I'm just really excited to see what Kafka's fiction writing is like, because I'm only really familiar with his diary entries and letters. So yeah, that is The Metamorphosis and Other Stories. And speaking of short story collections, I have Birds of a Lesser Paradise by Megan Mayhew Bergman. These are short stories about, from my understanding, it's kind of about nature and man's relationship with nature, how nature influences our decisions and our lives, and just different things like that. So I am really excited about this. The cover is really cool. It's just got an owl in it, and I got this from the same bookstore, and I also got The Metamorphosis from the used bookstore. But I don't know this author. I don't know anything about this book other than it's short stories about nature, and that sounds cool. In these last two, I probably should have talked about these first. It would have gotten me more traction and views and whatever, but who cares. One of those, I did get this one from the used bookstore as well somehow, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad, in this gorgeous, very good condition paperback, pink and with a yellow spine. I just think it's so lovely. So Bunny, from my understanding, is about, it's one of those sad girl books, I think, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a bookstagram trend. I don't know much about it myself, but Bunny follows a student named Samantha Heather Mackey, and she is kind of unpopular and only has one friend, but then the popular group called the Bunnies, the rich girls, invite her to something, and she ditches that only friend that she had in the process of that. So that is really interesting to me. It reminds me a little bit, the complicated female friendship thing reminds me of My Year of Rest and Relaxation, or just Otessa Moshfegh's writing in general. I love Otessa Moshfegh, so of course I'm going to talk about her writing, and I'm not really comparing the plots, it's just more the vibes. It gives me the same vibe, but I am excited to pick this one up as well. And last but certainly not least is the other book that I got today. I got it new, and that is Second Place by Rachel Cusk, in this awesome, beautiful paperback edition. I love these covers of Rachel Cusk's, her Picador, whatever, editions. I own Coventry, her essay collection. I haven't read that yet, but because at first I thought I wanted to jump into Rachel Cusk's writing with those essays, but then I was like, I kind of have to be in a certain mood to read essays, so I may not get around to Coventry for a while, but I know I will get around to Second Place sooner, because it's like a novel about an artist, a famous artist, and like a middle-aged woman, and I normally like don't find myself drawn to stories about middle-aged people, but I've heard too many good things about Second Place to not pick it up, to not try it out. So those are the 9 books that I want to read in May. When I say that, I don't necessarily mean I am like expecting myself to read all of them. They're just kind of the ones that I'm gonna pick from. Like, that's my kind of TBR list pile that I'm gonna pick from, depending on like what I'm in the mood to read at the moment. That's why I have a couple of different genres in there. Yes, thanks for sticking around if you did. If you didn't, then that's fine, because you're gone now. Leave a like, subscribe if you feel like it. I will be doing more in this space for sure, because I'm like filming this and realizing I'm having a lot of fun with it, so I definitely want to do more here. But that being said, I'm not sure yet when that will be. If you're interested, definitely watch this space. That's about all I have to say about that. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.